Welcome back. Let's move ahead with nucleic acid. We'll see the features of the two nucleic acids, DNA and RNA, what makes one superior over the other to be selected as the genetic material. So first we'll go through the structural differences between the two. As we know, DNA is double-stranded and RNA is single-stranded. Why is RNA single-stranded? It is because of the oxygen at the 2' of the ribose sugar, which creates a repelling force that does not allow that bond formation between two bases, keeping it as a single-stranded molecule. Whereas in DNA, the 2' oxygen is absent. We have learned this in the structural differences earlier. So there is no repelling force that makes it a double-stranded structure. And that too, the two strands are complementary to each other. That means the bases complement each other. A purine always pairs with a pyrimidine, and that too very specifically adenine pairs with thymine and guanine pairs with cytosine. So these features, being double-stranded and being complementary, allows DNA to resist changes, which is a very good feature, ideal for a genetic material. Differences in sugars, that is the main thing which makes RNA single-stranded, because the hydroxyl reactive group makes the RNA easily hydrolyzed. It can easily break down. Whereas DNA, the O being removed, is not easily hydrolyzed. Then we have differences in the nitrogen bases. Purines are same in DNA and RNA, adenine and guanine in both cases. When we see pyrimidines, cytosine is common to both, whereas in DNA, the other pyrimidine is thymine and in RNA it is uracil. And this presence of thymine also allows DNA a better genetic material. It has greater resistance to mutation. What is mutation? Any change in the sequence of bases may alter the instruction. So that changes do not happen very easily in DNA because of thymine. We'll see why. So that makes the genetic message more stable, more secure. Thymine is protected than uracil. It is more protected than uracil. Other features, if you see about the stability of DNA being double-stranded and having complementary bases, between the two strands there are hydrogen bonds connecting the bases, linking the bases. Adenine and thymine, we learned 2 bonds and 2 hydrogen bonds, and guanine and cytosine 3. So individually, if you see a hydrogen bond, if you think of a hydrogen bond, it is a weak bond. But when all together in the complete length of DNA, quantitatively if you see, it is a very strong bonding. So DNA is not degraded easily. These are all features. What all could be the points? Why DNA is not easily degraded? Why is it accepted as a genetic material? Purines on the other hand, RNA on the other hand have purines and pyrimidines, but base pairing is not there naturally. There are cases of base pairing, but naturally RNA is single-stranded. So no hydrogen bonds, so that is easily degraded. Now, coming to how DNA has evolved from RNA, which was the first genetic material. Of course, RNA was the first genetic material. Other than acting as a genetic material in primitive, like viruses and all, it also acts as a catalyst even now. DNA has evolved from RNA with some chemical modification. What are those chemical modifications? The uracil in RNA has been methylated during the course of evolution. This change has come. It has got a methyl group, and that makes it thymine. So thymine was accepted as one of the pyrimidine in DNA. So that confers additional stability to DNA. Presence of thymine confers additional stability to DNA. Why thymine in DNA? Now this is one important question, like why nature selected thymine in DNA instead of uracil as it was there in RNA. So just we'll go through this and then the detailed explanation. Naturally, cytosine, a pyrimidine, that is cytosine which is common to both, has the tendency to deaminase, spontaneously deaminases to form uracil. So when cytosine deaminases, it becomes uracil. Now this happens, normally it happens. Now in DNA, if such an error occurs, that means if cytosine in DNA deaminase to form uracil, the pairing will become GU. That is wrong. DNA has a repair mechanism. It has a special repair mechanism which is not there in RNA. So it has evolved to have that repair mechanism, and that is because of the thymine that the repair mechanism works. How? If there was this kind of error, cytosine changing into uracil, the repair mechanism, which is actually the enzyme DNA polymerase itself, which goes on extending the strand of DNA, that enzyme itself takes care of proofreading. It goes on seeing, it takes a round of seeing whether it has added the right bases. So if it sees such an error that instead of cytosine uracil is there, it will very naturally promptly remove it and replace it with cytosine. So this proofreading mechanism is there in DNA as a repair mechanism. In RNA it is not there. But what would happen if naturally instead of thymine, DNA also had uracil instead of thymine? So the proofreading mechanism cannot differentiate between the natural uracil and the deaminased uracil from cytosine. So what will it do? It will undergo a very major problem when the repair mechanism selects all the uracil to replace it by cytosine. It will also replace the natural uracil if thymine was not there and uracil was there. You will understand this better from this picture. See, RNA has adenine, guanine, cytosine and uracil. So it's not long lasting because it is easily degraded, and that kind of functions only it does. Whereas DNA has to be long lasting. It has to be there till the death of the organism. So adenine, thymine, guanine, cytosine. This is the correct pairing. Now suppose this cytosine, while polymerization process, is replaced by, is deaminased and uracil happens to be there. That is an error. So if this kind of error occur and there was uracil here, the proofreading enzyme would correct it. It would replace it back with cytosine and the pairing would be correct and the DNA would be error free. But if uracil was a part of DNA and not thymine was the part, suppose uracil, as in RNA, uracil was the pyrimidine here, pairing with A. What would happen? This repair mechanism enzyme would also change this U to C while correcting the error of deaminased cytosine. So of course GC pairing would be corrected during proofreading. GC pairing would be corrected, but what would go wrong? All the natural uracil would also be replaced by cytosine. So the pairing would be AC, which is wrong. So naturally, during the course of evolution, thymine took place instead of uracil. Clear? And moreover, what is proofreading? Just like you write an exam and you know that you have done quite well, but you go through the paper once again before submitting to see if there is a by chance error and you correct it, otherwise you lose marks when the teacher catches that error. So that is there the problem is about losing marks. But if during proofreading things do not work out well, what would happen? There would be an issue of life and death of an organism. Any change in the base sequence can mean a lot of difference for the organism. So that is a very important process, and it is only because of thymine that the proofreading mechanism works properly. Now coming to some functional differences, and now we are very sure that all these differences in function that we are going to read is actually due to the difference in chemical structure of the two nucleic acids. DNA is the predominant genetic material, whereas RNA performs all the dynamic functions like messenger RNA, adapter molecule tRNA, etc. And it is in the cytoplasm, which is full of enzymes that can be really dangerous. Degrading processes is very high here, whereas this is safely confined within the nucleus and also bound by histone proteins, which make them very secure and safe from the action of enzymes. Within the nucleus, the boss has to be within the nucleus. DNA stores genetic information, so it has to be passed to the next generation as such. So double helix structure offers more security. As we discussed earlier, the double helix structure doesn't allow the degradation easily. RNA transfers genetic information from nucleus to the cytoplasm. That means whatever instruction is written on the DNA, RNA transfers it, brings it to the ribosome where protein is synthesized. DNA has evolved from RNA because of chemical modification. We have already discussed how uracil is methylated to thiamine. Here RNA also acts as a catalyst, so it is highly reactive and so less stable. More and more DNA is formed by replication process. So that is an important phenomenon. Replication is an important phenomenon, so that every cell gets the same copy of the DNA. Replication process is reserved to RNA viruses. Other RNA like messenger RNA, tRNA or rRNA do not undergo replication process. They have their own roles. DNA, having evolved, has a process of self-repair mechanism which is absent in RNA, and that is again due to thiamine, as I said earlier. Instead of uracil, thiamine is there, so this is possible. Otherwise correction won't be possible. Whereas RNA, they are designed to be easily used and recycled. Every now and then they are disintegrated and again the elements are reused. DNA lasts long. That is the important feature because of proofreading. Whereas RNA is usually short-lived. It degrades faster. Now, understanding all those differences, one important question that can come up is evaluate the suitability of DNA and RNA as a genetic material. You may be asked to justify which is preferred as an ideal genetic material, DNA or RNA. So you evaluate it on the basis of these points. What are the points? Can the molecule replicate? Yes, DNA can replicate. RNA as such, only viral RNA can replicate, but the feature of replication is more stronger in DNA. It has it as a main feature. Of course, some RNA like the viral RNA replicates, but as the feature is there in both, we don't consider this as a very ideal point, though replication is a very important process to be a genetic material. Next, chemically and structurally stable. Here we have already discussed DNA is more stable, less reactive. See, denaturing of DNA occur at high temperature. We will read it in one of the experiments called Griffith's experiment. What is denaturation? Breaking of hydrogen bonds. It happens when it is heated. DNA molecule is heated and the two strands separate. That is called denaturation. But when the conditions are regained, are normal, when the conditions come back to normal, the double-stranded nature is regained. It can again complement back. That means pairing can occur and the two strands are intact. In RNA, the 2' hydroxyl group of the ribose sugar makes it very labile. It can be easily broken down and degradable. Hence, it is highly reactive. So, this point, DNA wins over. DNA is ideal. It has ideal feature to be a genetic material. Next, scope to evolve through slow changes. That is a must. See, from primitive man till today, we have changed so much. That is due to gradual and very slow mutations that have come up in our sequences, because of which today's man looks so different from the primitive man. For any organism this goes right, but the mutation should not be very frequent. The scope to evolve should be through slow changes, and again that is a very ideal feature seen in DNA. Because of proofreading, it does not undergo changes very fast, whereas RNA is unstable and mutate very fast, so it evolves faster. So information cannot be stored in such a molecule. So that way, again an ideal feature here. Ability to express. DNA has instructions to make proteins, but it depends on mRNA, whereas protein synthesizing machinery is evolved around RNA. So in that way, we see these two features make DNA as storage information molecule, whereas RNA as information transfer molecule. I hope the topic is clear. We'll come up with another video on